Let's talk about brushes, the brushes that everyone needs and the brushes that nobody needs. Obviously, the Siren brush is one of my favorites ever. You see me use it almost every day. I love the speed and the flexibility of having this edge here that is a little bit smaller and this wider edge here. So the density of the brush really matters. The quality of the build really matters, and the cleanliness of the brush really matters. So you got to take care of the ones that you have. But here's my philosophy on how much to spend on brushes. They touch your face. Okay, they do the work on your face. These are your power tools. So would you ask a craftsman if you should buy the least expensive drill and saw? No, of course not. So you don't probably need the professional level either, but you need a good quality. I think the Morphe brushes are great, but I don't always like to buy from just one line. I don't feel like there's really any line out there that has everything that I would want. So picking and piecing your brushes together, I think, is the smartest thing to do. The second brush on the list that everybody needs is a concealer brush, and this is not to apply concealer necessarily. It is loaded with concealer and it works as an eraser. So this is your cleanup brush. I use this so often. I rely on it. If I can't find it, I'm freaking out. So I actually have two. Here it is close up, and this one you only want to give it a bath when necessary, and after its bath you want to reload it with concealer. So you would push concealer into it and then start pulling it off. You don't want excessive amounts, but you want just that little bit of product in there because it's going to help displace any little mistakes, especially like mascara cleanups that are under your eye in tight little areas. It's just an absolute magic machine. Okay, a fluffy crease blending brush that is shaped like this is very important. You want something that's a little bit long, domed at the top, and has a lot of flexibility. Lip brush, absolutely a must. A detail brush, okay, sometimes called a liner brush. So this one looks plain old fluffy compared to this one, okay? See how tight that is? It's going to make the tiniest little details possible, but it can be really tedious if you're trying to blend something out to do it with something this small. So I like to have this one, but I also really like to have this one for just a slightly larger surface area in especially blending the kind of liner shadows around the eyes. And then a brow brush is very different, okay? It's much shorter, much stubbier, and it doesn't have nearly as much flexibility. You need that to be able to make those really tight lines and to be able to scrub in between the hairs and deposit color in between. You need two face brushes shaped generally. This one is a little bit smaller. It is domed. You see how it can fit under the eye, and this tapered part right here will get right underneath the lashes. This big fluffy guy over here would be for bronzer and blush. And I like to keep my brush that is for powder separate from the one that I use for bronzer and blush and highlighter, okay? So this one is in a monogamous relationship with some powder, and this one is a slut. And this is probably the most versatile eye brush. If you're not gonna do all of the eye brushes, and you don't have to, this is a really good alternative. It's sort of flat shaped. If I turn it toward you, it's not super fluffy, it's not domed. It's a little bit fluffy, certainly compared to the concealer brush. It's going to be much fluffier, all right? You see the difference? And this one is from Because and very inexpensive and a really good quality. I like it a lot. Ilia also has one, and theirs is super soft. I really like theirs too. They're pretty much the exact same thing. This is gonna let you do the crease area. It's gonna let you do a little bit. You're not gonna do fine lines with this, but you can do liner shadows that are really smudgy with this. You can get into the inside corner and highlight with it. You could do the brow color. I use a concealer brush to do that, but you could do it with this one too. So this is a very versatile all-in-one. I take this with me when I'm traveling, when I know I'm not gonna be, using all of my brushes and I wanna really pare it down and minimize. This is the one that I use. These two are fairly new to my collection from the Morphe V series, and I really do like this one for concealer. It has this little indentation right here, and it's nice and stiff and firm. It's also very, very soft. I'm really liking playing around with this one. And then this is a foundation brush that's just different than anything I've had. My daughter got it originally, and I kept stealing hers, so I had to go back and get my own. So this has been a lot of fun to play with too. And these are in the, you know, $12 to $15 price range. Super affordable. I think they're at Ulta. A couple of brushes that are sort of alternative, but that I really love having is this little fan brush from Esom, and it's like $10. It's, I think it's T11. It's T11. And I use this to apply mascara when I only want mascara at the root of my lashes, or when I'm applying it to a very, you know, small area, or I want a very small amount, like when I'm doing my bottom lashes. You've seen me use this to pull mascara off the wand and apply it where I have more control over how much product I'm using than that big scary wand with all that product in it. Another one is a pencil brush. You see how much more pointy this is, but it's a little bit fluffy also. So this is really good for blending in little areas like this. But it kind of does the same job as this one. This one just has a little bit more detail capability. And then spoolies that are just disposable come in really handy for using for your brows. When you're doing your brows to trim up any long ones, you can brush them straight up. I use these in my Anastasia Brow Freeze, and eventually they start to get really gunky with that stuff, and you can just throw it away and get another one. So I really like having disposable spoolies as well.